Before you get into this video, you're probably interested in knowing who's giving you this strategy advice. My name is Julian Cole, founder of the Planning Dirty Academy. I'm a strategy consultant for leading brands like Uber, Facebook, Disney, Apple, and Snap. Previously, I was head of comms planning at BBDO and BBH in New York, where my team and I won over 100 creative and strategy awards. You're probably familiar with some of the most iconic work that my team and I created, from Super Bowl ads like Puppy Monkey Baby for Mountain Dew, to relaunching the PlayStation 4 to be the highest grossing video game console in history, and iconic work for Bacardi, Snickers,
Better?
and M&M's. Since working on some of the most iconic advertising campaigns in the world, I'm now focused on helping you become a world-class strategist. The biggest hurdle I've noticed with strategists is a sense of imposter syndrome. This hits close to home for me, as I was plagued by it for the first half of my career too. I was never given formal training in strategy. I was just expected to wing it. Luckily, when I moved to New York and started at BBH, I was able to get a traditional training in strategy that allowed me to go and be a strategist who performed at the very highest level. Unless you're lucky enough to work at a handful of companies around the world, getting access to training like that is off limits. You're forced to learn by yourself and your growth will be stunted. The Planning Dirty Academy addresses that problem and gives you training that will bring significant value to you and your company. You'll see in this video my style of teaching. It's all about making it really practical. That's what the Planning Dirty Academy stands for, getting your hands dirty in the actual work. It's not just the philosophy of strategy here. I show you the theory, I give lots of examples, show you how to do it the right way and the wrong way, then I get you to do it and give you feedback. That is how you will really learn strategy. So let's get into it. Writing a strategy, or also known as strategy on a page. Let me firstly just define what I see as the caveats to this presentation. What I am going to include is how to write a strategy for an advertising or communication strategy. I'm not going to include how to do research, how to do word craft, presenting a strategy, validating a strategy, or brief writing. That will happen later in the course, so hold on for that, but let's firstly articulate how you actually write a strategy. So why do we even need a strategy? Well, you need a strategy when you want to change the course of a business. If the business is currently going along and the path they're on is successful and they are going to reach their goal, then you don't need a strategy. However, if the path you're going down isn't going to reach your strategy, then that is definitely when you need a new strategy or a strategy on a page. The important thing is it helps to keep everyone on the same page, and then it also helps to show all the pieces. So if anyone new comes into the organization, they'll understand exactly why you're doing what you are doing. Again, as I was saying, if it's business as usual, then the path where you currently are and the goal you're trying to get to is quite simple. It's kind of like water going down a river. Naturally, it's just going to go that way. However, if there is a problem or something stopping you from reaching that goal, then that is when we need a strategy, because that problem is going to stop us from reaching the goal we're after. So that is when we need to come up with an alternative path, and that's what a strategy is. It's a problem, it's a solution to the problem that we have at hand. Here we can see that we have found a new path around the problem that gets us to the goal. So what is a strategy? If we had to define it very simply, it is a solution to the problem standing in the way of your goal. In strategy, when we talk about a strategy for communication or advertising, we've actually got two layers here. We've got the business layer and the consumer layer, because each one of these is quite different And we've got to solve for both of those things. So when we look at the problem from the business's perspective, so for instance, we've got Apple here and we've got Tim Cook who owns Apple. If he is trying to sell the new Apple screens, the new desktop monitors that they've got, the problem for him is that they've had a really rocky relationship trying to sell to retailers. So the solution needs to be create a monitor that consumers demand, retailers stock. So here we've got the problem is that Apple is new to the market, rocky history with retailers. The goal is to be the leading monitor brand in 2022. And so the solution is, well, let's get consumers to drive the demand for retailers to stock our product. So if we look at the problem from a video editor's perspective, who might be in the market for an Apple monitor, where they are is quite different. Their problem isn't the same as Apple's. So what they want to do is a video editor might want to win more business as a video editor. The problem they're having is their creativity is being held back by clunky technology. It doesn't allow them to keep up with what they want to do. Maybe they can't multitask as fast, they can't reach the solutions. So the solution is get a monitor that can keep up with the multitasking and pixel perfect skills that you need to grow your business. So there we can see from a very different angle what the goal is, the problem, and the target market is trying to do there. Let's go into how we write a strategy. The way I like to talk about writing a strategy is what I call the nesting doll strategy, because it's a strategy on a page, but inside you've got the business strategy, inside that you've got the consumer strategy, inside that you've got the insight and the solution. It's a simple formula, which I like to do a lot, which is like a fill in the blanks. So you've got the brand name, which is the business problem. So it would be like Apple business problem. No one thinks of us for monitors. Then you got problem is, and so then you speak about the consumer and their problem. So problem is video editors aren't getting enough business or are trying to increase their business but failing at that. So then we've got the however statement, which is your insight, the we need to, which is the solution, so that, which is the consumer goal, and then helping to, which is your business goal. So they're the key pieces that we've got there. We're trying to fill in those blanks. Strategy on a page. So when we look at that, we can see that it's nested inside each other. So we've got the business on the outside, from the business problem to the goal, the consumer problem to the goal, and then the solutions on the inside being the insight and the single-minded proposition. So let's show an example now. Lysol is a brand of disinfectant, and for all of their history, they've been really successful with parents who want to clean up their houses and keep their houses really clean from germs. Here we've got a very old ad on the left-hand side, which is homicide in a handkerchief. So they were talking about germs and how they kill germs. They're germ killers. But what Lysol realized was that mothers and parents who are the main cleaners right now feel that that is overkill. Germ kill is overkill, because now we realize, some germs are good. They are only using this when they've got a really big issue. So a kid's vomited, that's when they're bringing out the Lysol, but they think it's too strong. It's hospital grade. It's not safe for their home, which is a little bit more open to not a hospital where we need industrial strength cleaner. So they needed to come up with a strategy that really pivoted, because Lysol was currently being seen by mothers as overkill, too much. So what they did here was quite interesting. They realized that maybe germ killing was too much and seen negatively, but what was seen positively was mothers' protection and protecting their young and their kids. And really, that's what all animals in the animal kingdom do. They protect their young. And so they wanted to show that protect like a mother was the line that they wanted to go with, because that associates Lysol closer to protection than this germ killing. It's all about protection. So they're changing the association here of showing protection being a sign of love. So if we were to go there and then break up what the strategy on the page is that Lysol, the business problem is Lysol is a category leader in a dying category of germ-killing disinfectants. Now, the problem is mothers see germ kill as overkill. However, for mums, protection is an instinctive act of love. We need to make the strength of Lysol protection as every day as the strength of a mother's protection, so that mums feel assured they're doing the most to protect their kids, helping to increase usage of Lysol products by 20%. So there we've got the business problem up the top and then the business goal at the bottom. Problem is mothers see germ kill as overkill. Then the goal is we want mums to feel assured they're doing the most to protect their kids. And then we've got the insight there. However, for mums, protection is an instinctive act of love. And then what's the message we need to tell them? Make the strength of Lysol protection as every day as the strength of a mother's protection. So there we see, that's what a strategy on a page looks like. It's got all the elements. If we hand that to anyone in the business who's working on Lysol, they'll understand all the key parts. So what strategy is not? Strategy isn't just the tagline, Lysol will protect like a mother, because that doesn't give us enough of the context. It doesn't give us the problem. It doesn't give us the goal. It only gives us a little indication of what we need to say. Strategy is also not just saying the business goal. Lysol needs to grow by 2.3% by increasing awareness by 4% amongst parents, because that might be the end point where we need to get to, but it's not. A strategy helps us understand how we solve the problem, and this isn't telling us how we solve the problem. It's also not listing out the tactics. Lysol will develop a fully integrated Mother's Day campaign featuring film, social, and an interactive exhibit. That is not telling us what the message is. It's not allowing us to understand what the problem we're trying to overcome or where we're trying to go. It's just saying the actions we're taking. And so if you're new to the brand, you've got no idea why are we actually doing any of this. So a strategy on a page is a lot more than just one of these small things or just a tactic. So let's go on and watch this film by Eargo. It's a 30-second spot, and we'll talk about what the strategy on a page is for that. So play the video.
Thanks for having us this weekend, Mrs. Garci.
Yeah, thanks, Mom.
Of course, and thank you guys for these gorgeous flowers. So thoughtful. Hey, did you bring the condoms?
What's up?
Condoms.
Condor.
Condor. Why would I say condoms?
Condoms, Charlie. She wants to know if you brought any condoms.
Yeah, I brought some.
Eargo, a virtually invisible hearing loss solution with high-quality sound and lifetime support.
So strategy on a page. Again, here, brand name, business problem, consumer problem, insight, solution, consumer goal, and business goals. So let's break this down for Eargo. So Eargo wants to convert. The problem here is that the 22 million Americans who are hard of hearing but refuse to get a hearing aid. So the problem is they don't think they have a viable option, forcing them to withdraw socially. However, withdrawing socially makes you feel like you lose your identity. Eargo technology allows you to be part of the conversation. So the message we need to say is we need to tell people, let the hard of hearing know that Eargo allows your personality to be part of every conversation, so that they can start being social again, helping to increase the sales of Eargo amongst the hard of hearing. So there we have all the pieces in there. Again, one more strategy here for Bing. So Bing has been losing share of search ad dollars for the last 6 years. That's the business problem. For consumers, it's harder than ever to search something in private. See, they're different. The problem for Bing, the company, and the problem for the consumer are quite different. However, the problem is that Google gossips. So that's their biggest competitor. Ads follow you across their products, YouTube, Gmail, and Google Ads. So we need to Let people know that your private searches stay private on Bing so that they start using Bing for private searches, helping to increase search volume and revenue. So here again, we can see all the parts and it's really nice and neat. It all kind of sits together there. So again, that's a strategy on a page. So let's get you into doing an exercise and trying this out. The exercise we're going to do is for extra gum. And so what we've realized, there's a big business problem. This is during COVID. What we've seen is Hershey's mint and gum sales have plummeted because of social distancing and masks during the pandemic. So if we were to write the strategy on a page, that's what SOAP stands for. Extra 2021 gum sales have dried up. The category is down 20.4% year on year. So what I want you to do now is come up with 3 consumer problems that could continue to impact gum sales when lockdown is lifted. So post-lockdown, what are potentially 3 consumer problems that could continue the bad run that gum's having? So I'll give you 3 minutes to do that right now. Write them down. Okay, coming back, let's look at some of the solutions here. So, some of the consumer problems that could be correct for here. Within breathing distance of people makes people feel nervous. So, when we come back, we've been told for so long, 1.5 meters distance, stay distanced. And now we're being told the opposite, come close to people. So that might make us feel a little anxious. People may opt to stay home and give up on their social life. Again, if people aren't seeing other people, they're not going to use gum. So if they're staying at home, this could be a big problem for gum sales. The third problem here is they're worried they won't know how to socially interact. Again, a big problem. Like, people are just worried, they're concerned, and they'll just stay home because they're worried they'll be nervous and not know how to interact with others. So let's look at problems that might not be right. And so you might have written some problems that might look a little like this. It's not a problem for the consumer. So people are not aware of extra gum flavors. So that wouldn't really be a problem. That might be a problem for us as extra gum. Again, this would be the business problem, but not the consumer problem. We also might have problems we can't fix. So you always have to be thinking, is this something that extra gum could potentially fix? So worried their city hasn't been properly vaccinated. Maybe they're worried there's lots of anti-vaxxers. I don't know how gum would solve that. So in the back of your head, you always have to be thinking, what could the potential solution be here? So hopefully you've written some consumer problems down. Now I want to look at the ad that they came up with, and let's try to decipher what the insight was from this ad. All right, let's play it.
Hello, we've got some big news this morning. We are back, folks. That's right, we can see people again. Can you believe it?
It's all coming back, it's all coming back to me now. There were moments of gold and there were flashes of light. There were nights of endless pleasure. It was more than any loss in love. Baby, if I kiss you like this, and if you whisper like that, it was lost long ago. But it's all coming back to me. I can barely recall, but it's all coming back to me
Okay, now out of the 3 consumer problems that we had, I would love to hear what you think the consumer problem was. I'll give you 30 seconds to choose. Now, if you chose worried they won't know how to socially interact, I think that was probably the problem that this was solving for. So extra gum we can see maybe has a really clear role here. You don't know how to socially interact? Well, gum helps facilitate that. It helps make it easier for you. So we can see there's a little bit of an insight here about to reveal itself. So let's look at the next piece, because we realize once we've got the consumer problem, we need the insight and then the message. So the insight and the solution. So what are insights? Insights are revelations. This was from Richard Huntington, and I really like this. They reveal something new to us. And in the case of advertising, they reveal a new way for us to look at the problem. So here they really sit for me between the problem and the solution. They unlock the problem or reveal to us a new solution. Hearing an insight, we should have a response. And this was great by Arthur Koestler. He says that different professions respond differently to insights. So a scientist might say, aha, where a comedian says, ha, and then creatives say, ah. So they're the responses you should get when you hear an insight for the first time. Now remember, they're either revealing the problem, reframing the problem for us, or they're revealing a new solution. So let's go to the next exercise. In this, I would love to hear what you think the insight is in this work. We'll play the spot again.
Hello, we've got some big news this morning. We are back, folks. That's right, we can see people again. Can you believe it?
It's all coming back, it's all coming back to me now. There were moments of gold and there were flashes of light. There were nights of endless pleasure. It was more than any loss in love. Baby, if I kiss you like this, and if you whisper like that, it was lost long ago, but it's all coming back to me. I can barely recall, but it's all coming back to me now. But it's all coming back.
I'll give you 3 minutes to work out what you think the insight was of that spot. All right, so the insight, this is what some people have written, gets people to reconnect. So here's the insight. You won't be socially awkward if the whole world is socially awkward. So that was the big anxiety. People had anxiety about being social again because they just haven't been outside. They don't know how to act. The second thing here we could have, which is the joy of reconnecting overrides our judgment of how well we'll look when we reconnect. Now, this might be true, but it's not helping us solve the problem. It's not helping socially awkward. Maybe that's kind of a little bit right, but it's not hitting the nail on the head and leading to our solution, which is what we want. So we want to make sure that it's leading to the solution. So let's look at the strategy on a page again and see how we can get to that. So if we go to the single-minded proposition here, the message that solves the problem and helps signify how the brand relates to the solution. So for this one, we need to show the joy of interacting overcomes the fear and that gum can help facilitate. So here we've got the whole strategy on a page. Extra gum sales have decreased by 20% with less human interaction. Problem is, they're worried that they won't know how to socially interact. However, you won't be socially awkward if the whole world is socially awkward. So we need to show the joy of interacting overcomes the fear and that gum can help facilitate. So there we're starting to see the pieces. We've got the insight there and we've got the single-minded proposition. So let's get into the strategy goals. So they're the final two things, the consumer goal and the business goal. So when we're looking at the consumer and business goal, the first thing is for the consumer goal, we want to work out what do we want people to think, feel, or do? And then what do we want the effect to be on the business? So make them something, we want to make sure that we can make something that can be measurable. So SMART goals are how we write them. So it needs to be specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and timely. So that's what we do with SMART goals, and we definitely want the business goal to be that way. So here, if we're putting the strategy all together again, it's get extra gum sales have decreased with less human interaction. Problem is, people are worried they won't know how to socially interact when lockdown's over. However, you won't be socially awkward if the whole world is socially awkward. We need to show the joy that trumps the fear of first interactions and how gum can help facilitate, so that people get excited about more face-to-face meetings, helping to increase sales by 20% for extra gum by 2022. So there we have all the pieces together, the strategy on a page. I hope that helps, and let me know if you've got any questions. Hopefully that gives you a taste of what the Planning Dirty Academy can be like, and you can see how it could help you as a strategist. If you identify as a successful strategy misfit, then I would love you to stick around. If you're a successful strategy misfit, you've probably never been taught the fundamentals of strategy, but have been placed in a strategy role. You're probably quite successful in your role and have been able to pick it up as you go. Your boss is happy with you. However, you have a nagging suspicion that you might not be doing strategy the right way. There might be more ways out there that you don't know about. This moment might come to you when you're asked to build out a department, or you get your first hire under you and you're asked to teach them strategy. If this is you, then I have designed the course to help you reach your full potential in strategy. The aim of this course is to help you slay your imposter syndrome as a strategist. This is important because you're never going to be successful in your job if you lack confidence. I've never met a successful strategist who lacked conviction in their work. The problem is, strategy training has been to date a private club, only available at a select few great companies around the world. I'm looking to change that and make it available to everyone, no matter your location or company you work at. I'm giving you access to strategy training that is taught at top companies like WPP, Omnicom, Facebook, Snap, and Best Buy. Once you have a clear understanding of the expectations and what you need to know, you will watch your confidence and skills grow. The way I've set up the Academy is to help you through 3 key stages of your career. When you're starting out, you need to understand the strategy fundamentals, and we go into detail on that. No matter if you're a social strategist, a brand strategist, a shopper strategist, this is going to help you out. Then the second moment the Academy helps you out is when you're promoted to strategy director and need to have a broad range of skills. The Academy helps to cover all these disciplines too. The modules include research, insights, creative briefing, brand strategy, comms planning, advertising effectiveness, and business strategy. Finally, as you get a role which is in leadership, I have 3 modules that relate to what you need to know at this level, which is management, diplomacy, which is how you navigate politics, and then finally around selling strategy. How do you get other people to buy strategy? I've also got time-saving documents. One of the biggest barriers for potential students is that they don't have time. The thing about the Planning Dirty Academy is that it doesn't add time, but it actually helps you to start saving time. The way I do this is through the time-saving library. It's got a number of templates that I've created over the last 10 years that saves me time. From the Framework Factory, which is over 50 templates that you can use for your slides, to the Content Strategy template, which outlines how to do strategy. One of the biggest benefits for members is the community. In the Planning Dirty Academy, you get access to a private Facebook group of other members who work at some of the best companies in the world. Red Bull, Netflix, Amazon, Droga5, McCann, DDB, BBDO, and Ogilvy. In this community, you will learn from others, as you will see others share strategy decks of their work, and the community helps give them feedback. Seeing and learning from others is something that we don't get to see often. The fact you can see how other strategists from a diverse range of backgrounds think and outline their information is invaluable for helping you find your own style. For those who finish the Strategy Fundamentals chapter, there is also a certificate of completion that you get. This is something that you can share on your LinkedIn and just show to the world what progress you're making. So I used to sell each module for $250. So the value of all the modules together is $2,750. Then the time-saving library is worth $500. The private community and monthly open office hours is invaluable. So the Planning Dirty Academy is worth at least $3,250. You now get lifetime access for not $3,250, but $1,297 on the website today. However, seeing as though you have made it this far in the video and you're interested in the Academy, I want to offer you the Academy for $997 for lifetime access. Also, if you prefer to pay over 12 months, I've made a payment plan where you can pay $85 for 12 months instead. All you need to do is email me in the next 72 hours with the name of the webinar in the subject line and introduce yourself and ask for the webinar discounted price. I will send you a private code from there. I believe in this product and know it has made a massive difference in the members already. I've seen them transform into confident strategists and go on and take amazing strategy jobs at global companies. It has also helped them be able to already add value to their company, selling in six-figure strategy deals. So if you're interested, all you have to do is email me at julian@planningdirty.com and ask for the $300 discount so you can access the Planning Dirty Academy for $997 today. There is also a 30-day money-back guarantee. No questions asked. So if you don't like it or you haven't found it beneficial, you can always get your money back. So if you have any questions or would like the discount, you have 72 hours from now to access that. So feel free to email me at julian@planningdirty.com with any questions.